Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority. Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or just search Barb and you'll find her on most popular podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. Barb, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, Richard, as always, I'm excited about today's show. First of all, we're going to talk about what the market's doing. It's been a little strange. It's up and down. So the topic of this first segment is, will prices fall as interest rates are rising? And then the next topic is about, and I get this question an awful lot, the top reasons why a house is not selling and what you can do to fix it. And then the third topic is another one that I get a lot of questions about, just because people don't sell homes every day. It might be once or twice in their lifetime that they do it. And if they bought it back before the late 90s, they're still in the mindset that, when they sell, they have to pay taxes on the profit of the sale. So we're going to dispel that myth and talk about all the details of that. And the very last thing is kind of a spicy one, but basically I'm going to talk about the top 5 ways real estate agents do things to stop sales and what you can do about it. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. For sure.
You as well as me listening and the other listeners finding out about it. Now, Barb, the Fed has announced that it's going to keep raising interest rates until inflation drops to 2.0%, with it currently being way above that number. What impact will the housing market realize over rising interest rates?
Well, it does affect the market because it affects the buyer's ability to afford a home. So we've lost a good 10 to 20% of our buyer population, even though the Gen X, Gen Z, Gen whatever, the younger generation than the boomer generation, basically, they're coming of age, they're getting jobs, they're in a position where they should be investing in real estate, but the affordability factor really kicks in with these higher interest rates. And some of them are just sitting on the sidelines, hoping and praying that prices are going to drop or the rates are going to come back down. And I don't see the rates coming back down. As of this morning, the rates were sitting at, for a 30-year fixed conventional, 7.17%, VA and FHA in the mid sixes. And so that's the new reality. And that's actually, looking back in time, not a horrible interest rate. So the immediate thought is it going to translate to lower prices? And I don't know why, but it's not the case. And it was funny. I found a chart online about sales volume, just looking back 5 years. And the big surprise to me is the volume of sales going on right now in real estate is very comparable to what it was right after COVID broke out, and everybody just kind of stopped the world, and there was no traffic on the roads, and there was so much uncertainty, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Now, that's not the reason now. It's not about uncertainty, it's about the lack of affordability for homes. There are still areas where prices are going up. And so since the fall of 2022, interest rates have doubled. That most people buy on payments and they can't afford to do it. Now, did the increase in interest rates bring inflation down? Is there light on the end of the horizon about this or not? And I don't think so. It doesn't appear to be working, especially with all the spending that's going on in the government. As an example, I'm sure you heard about this, Richard, that the government spent $7 billion to get 7 electric charging stations.
Amazing. I mean, when we look at the amount of money that is spent, it is stunning. But then we look at what it's spent on, it's even more stunning and disappointing, quite honestly.
Yeah, imagine what an average person or average business person could do with that kind of money, right? They would probably invest it wisely and not waste it somehow. So the net effect of inflation coupled with the high interest rates, coupled with the high home prices, is it definitely creates demand destruction on the buyers just because simply because they can't afford the payment. They're not getting paid enough. So you really have to make well over $100,000 per household to afford a basic home these days. And it's really sad for me to see that. Inventory is also up. So compared to last year, the number of available homes has gone up about 10%. That's quite a bit compared to a year ago when the rates were also high. But don't let that dissuade you. You just need somebody, if you are planning on making a move, to help you decide how to position the home to get the most money in the market that we're in right now. And we can help people in any market. The market's not really crashing, it's kind of holding its own. But there is less demand. So it's taking more time for homes to sell. So if you are thinking of making a move, one of the things that we offer is a free in-home consultation on what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale. I have over 27,915 buyers in waiting just on my little website. And typically I could find anywhere from 1 to 700 buyers that are a high match for your home. And we can talk about that, as well as I show up with multiple cash offers. So you can decide, do I want a cash offer or do I want to go on the market and see what the general market will pay for my home? So if you'd like to talk to us, the best way to reach us is go to barbhasthebuyers.com and fill out any form and we will get back to you. And if you're planning on moving later and you'd like to know about any one of my free reports, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com and click on that green button that says free reports. You can download any one of them and just give us a call, Richard.
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can reach Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. Now, Barb, we're talking about the impact of rising interest rates on the housing market. So, Barb, should buyers wait until prices come down?
Well, I just don't think it's going to happen. If it hasn't happened in the past 2 years in this higher rate environment, it's not going to happen much in the future. The prices might be a little bit flat, possibly. So I think what I find a lot of the younger generations are doing is they're stacking up cash. They're saving money for more down payment. They're getting help from family members contributing to their down payment in order to get into home ownership. That way they can take advantage of the prices going up and have ownership while they're paying the mortgage down. I don't see the rates changing very much. I've heard some of the people on the news station say, oh, the end of the year, but that's what they said about the summer, and it's still not happening. And if you're a seller right now, it isn't wise to actually price your home with the intent of, quote, having negotiating room. Now, yes, you can always come down from a higher price, but the problem is if you do that, the cat's already out of the bag, basically, right? The buyer population, which you're going to get most eyes on the home with regard to price and pictures in the first 10 days to 30 days. And that is the very first showing, the online presentation. So if the buyers don't like the price, if they don't like the photos, boom, they're moving on and you never have a chance again. And it really has changed from when I started back in the day in the late 90s when I became a licensed real estate agent. Buyers had to physically go look at homes to see if they wanted them. That is not the case anymore. Buyers are deciding based on the online presentation whether or not they're even going to leave their fuzzy bunny slippers and drive by the house, let alone ask to see it. So that's why you have to price your home what I call realistically versus optimistically in order to get the most money. Overpricing will end up over time getting you less money when you sell your home. Even the National Association of Realtors did a study on that, and they found if you overprice your home and then slowly walk the price down, you're going to net less money. Let me tell you a story about one of my clients. We actually priced the home what I thought was really very, very realistic. It was right on target with similar sales. However, after the initial flurry, some people at the open house, maybe one or two showings, nothing was happening. She goes, I need to sell my home. What am I going to do? I said, well, the market speaks to you. If you're getting very few showings, you're probably 3 to 5% off. So we made a 4% price change. We went from 370 to 355. Boom, right away we got an offer. Now the offer was less than asking. However, next day we had a showing and they were going to bring an offer, and I was able to play mom against dad and get them both up to their maxed offer, and we ended up selling for very, very close to asking price just a few days after that. So longer days on market's really not your friend, even though the average days on market right now has expanded. And it's different in different areas. Like if you go to certain parts of town, the more desirable zip codes or school districts or whatever, those tend to be lower days on market. And absolutely, your marketing has to be top notch. I get calls from people all the time that hired somebody else and they're not happy with why their house isn't selling. And so they asked me to come fix it. I can't do anything for them while they're currently under an agreement with their current agent. But one guy said, well, they offered me a really good deal on commission. And my answer was, you know, uh, if you're offered a low commission, like 4 or 4.5%, you know, if it doesn't sell, 4.5% of zero is still zero. It's not going to work. And I gave him good tips on why his home wasn't selling. He probably took it to his existing agent. But at the point I'm making is you're best off being absolutely right out of the gate with pricing, with marketing, with the whole package. And that's what we help our clients do. We call it the 3 Ps. We help them prepare so you don't get your home rejected based on the online presentation. We help them price it right so your home is not rejected based on the online presentation. And presenting that, getting the right photos is absolutely critical. If you mess that up, even the littlest thing, like a little bit of drama paint, could be enough for a buyer to turn their nose up about it, and you won't even know about it. You'll never know who those people are. So it's always best to make sure when you present to the market, everything is top notch. So if you'd like to call us and sit down and talk with us about what to do, what not to do, to get the most money when you sell your home, we'll go over all the closing costs. We'll also give you a really good idea what price range. We even show up with a handful of cash offers on your home to give you that certainty of it selling. Plus, we're able to present at least 700 highly targeted buyers that be a high match for your home. Give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, just call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing the top reasons a house is not selling and what you can do to fix it. Stay tuned for that.